Hello friends, and welcome back to Swiftlessons. In today's session, I'm going to be sharing with you a couple of exercises that you can use to train your ear. Now the ultimate goal is to build a connection between your mind and the notes on the fretboard, so that way you can anticipate what a note is going to sound like before you play it. Let's take a look. Okay, getting started with activity number 1. I call this retracing your steps. So this first exercise is very useful for developing your memory while also associating the positions on the fretboard with the sounds they create. So step number 1, play a note within a scale that you're very familiar with. For example, the A minor pentatonic scale. Okay, so that's the scale position that we should all be very familiar with. So step number 1 is to play a note within that scale. So maybe the 5th fret of the B string will work. Okay, then step number 2, repeat that note but add another at the end. Then step number 3, retrace your steps back to the beginning and place yet another note at the end. Alright, then step number 4 will be to repeat step number 3 for as long as possible, challenging yourself to build an extended sequence of notes. Alright, continuing on. Alright, another note will be added. Alright, keep it going. Alright, I've resolved. I'm going to keep going. Okay, so that's the basic approach. Starting off, you might only be able to memorize maybe 4 or 5 notes, but as you get better at it and your memory improves, and so does your awareness of the fretboard, you'll be able to get further and further into your sequence before you have to start over again. Now, for an added benefit, I definitely recommend that you practice singing along, so that way you're also building up your vocal chops and your sense of pitch as you play through that exercise. Okay, very good everybody. Now jumping into activity number 2. I call this the shadow game. So this exercise is designed to build the connection between the music you hear in your head and your fingertips on the fretboard. Remember, being able to anticipate what a given note is going to sound like. Now the added bonus to this exercise is that it's also going to be time dedicated to developing your pitch and your singing technique. So step number 1, choose a single scale position or a blend of multiple scales, which would be more advanced. For now, let's just stick with one single scale, that A minor pentatonic scale. Now step number 2 is going to be to sing a short lick out of that scale. You might need to snag one of the notes just to kind of calibrate your pitch. For example, this E note on the 7th fret of the A string is a very common place to start a lick. So I'll sing that note. Ah. Okay, now that I've calibrated my pitch, I'll use that note as a jump off point. Ah. So I just sang and then I just played back. I shadowed what I just sang on the fretboard. Ah. Ah. That was a 3-note phrase that time, so I'm getting a little bit better. Ah. So now I got to go a little higher, find that note. Ah. Ah. Okay, so singing and then playing, singing then playing, to build a connection between my mind, my voice, and my fingertips on the fretboard. Okay, so experiment with that, integrate it into your practice, be sure to get yourself into the low notes, get yourself into the high notes, maybe experiment in some other keys. Once you feel comfortable with that, I recommend also reversing the process. Play first, then sing to develop your pitch. So I'll play a lick. Ah, then sing. Now, if you feel like you're not very confident with your pitch, then I recommend doing this exercise all the time, but using a tuner with a microphone, like any tuner that you can download in the App Store if you have an iPhone or any kind of smartphone. Okay, so just making sure that you're singing in pitch and that you are accurately shadowing the lick that you played on the guitar. So, Now, the long-term benefit of this is that when you hear something in your head, you're going to be able to portray it on the fretboard, but maybe even more importantly, when you're listening to other great guitar players, you're going to be able to more accurately emulate the techniques that they played. You'll be able to visualize where on the fretboard that sound might have been created. Alright friends, thanks so much for checking out this ear training tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it. As a last bit of advice, I want you to take your time with these exercises. You're not going to see results overnight necessarily, so add it into your practice regimen, and over time you will see that your ability to improvise improves, but also, maybe more importantly, your ability to learn songs by ear will also improve. Big thanks to my supporters at patreon.com/Swiftlessons. I hope you're enjoying all your extra resources. Thanks to you guys, I've got many more videos coming up, so keep checking back. Please subscribe, please share. This is Rob at Swift Guitar Lessons in Philadelphia saying happy picking.